Hello there everyone and welcome to the finale for Umbara. This is a very exciting episode. I'll be walking through the entire mock with all the minifigures and the completed build from Brickworld Chicago. So without any further ado, let's get started. Here we go guys, here is the completed mock at Brickworld Chicago. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had so much fun making this build. I had to work a little bit at the convention to finish everything, but everything is complete or as complete as it's going to be. A couple things here and there that aren't quite finished, but overall I'm very happy with the mock. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the way it turned out. So first thing we'll do is look at the battlefield itself. One thing I wanted to make when I started off this mock was the actual road. One of my favorite scenes from Darkness on Umbara is when they get ambushed on the road, so I knew I wanted to make that scene. You'll notice I've got Umbarans ambushing clones on the road. Unfortunately, I didn't have as many Umbarans as I wanted to. I kind of miscalculated. I really wish I would have had more Umbarans, so you'll notice the battlefield isn't as populated as I would like, but I think it still looks pretty cool. So on the main road, we've got all the main characters from the episodes. Rex and Fives leading the way, of course, but everybody else is there. We've also got that crashed ETRT that you see in the actual battle itself where all the clones are taking cover behind it. I knew I wanted to include that. So I think the road turned out pretty cool. We've just got the Umbarans blasting the clones all over the place. We've got a couple of ATRTs that are modified from the Turbo Tank ATRT from the older Clone Wars Turbo Tank. And then we've got Sergeant Appo here leading his troops in the trenches. We don't see these in the show necessarily. We see some trenches not next to the road, but I love my trenches. I do them in most of my mocks. I knew I had to include them in this build. So we've got the 501st pushing forward, got some hand-to-hand close quarters combat, some trench warfare. I always love portraying that in my builds. And they're pushing up towards the main kind of bunkers that I added in. I really wanted to add a lot of gun emplacements and everything kind of built into the vegetation of Umbara. So we've got the translucent red leading into the kind of pink color. And then some of these trenches, I really wanted the wildlife and the vegetation to kind of feel like it could reach out and grab you at any moment. I feel like that was kind of a defining thing from Umbara. Everywhere you walk is potential danger on Umbara, so I really wanted to portray that. So here we've got another trench with the clones trying to push up and take out these Umbarans. You'll notice I also have some lights in the mock. I've got some on the electric fence right here, as well as some of the plants itself have some light my bricks, and I think that really adds another dimension to the build, so I'm really happy I added those lights in. Here's the ATRT kind of stomping on some Umbarans as well. So overall, I had a ton of fun setting up this part of the build. Probably my favorite part of the build. I really liked the battlefield area, and so did a lot of other people. They recognized the road right away from the episode, so that was really exciting. So here's the battlefield area for Umbara, and now it's time to move on to the capital city itself. And here we are, guys, the capital city of Umbara, the main part of the build here. Again, we don't really see this in the show. We just hear about it, so I kind of took my idea of what I think the capital would have looked like, basing it off of some Umbaran architecture and then adding in my own details here and there. I was able to get pretty much everything done at the convention except for you see a light gray spot in the corner. I wasn't able to get it completed with dark bluish gray. I kind of ran out, which is really unfortunate, but I think it works. Starting off here on the steps, we have some plane troops pushing up the steps, some hand-to-hand combat with some battle droids and Umbarans here. We never see battle droids in the capital, but we do know that the militia on Umbara were aligned with the Separatists, and we do see the droids in the atmosphere and all their ships and everything, so I think it would make sense to have battle droids on the surface itself, especially if they are protecting something as important as the capital. So lots of buildings here. All the rooftops and everything are complete from the last time you saw them. You also see I have some crazy arm accessories with the legs right there as well, a custom Lego part, and messing around with some blaster effects, kind of adding some more dynamic minifigure scenes in the build, which was kind of fun to do. And one thing I really wanted to focus on for this build as we get into the hallway right here was just all the small little scenes. My favorite stuff to do is set up minifigures on builds. So here we have a tunnel. If you guys have been around for a while, you know I love tunnels and trenches and caves and everything. So we have Master Tin back there fighting in the hallway and some close quarters combat with some clones right here. Fighting the droids and Umbarans in the hallway. This was a cool little thing for people to see at the convention, was to look through this hallway and kind of see all the action all the way down to the other side. On this side, we have those arches that I was planning on doing in the last episode that I finally got done, and I think they look okay. It kind of fills that space up pretty well. We've got the newest building that I got done right there with the neon green, or the neon green color. Right here is the main alleyway that I really wanted to portray this kind of urban combat with Boyle right here. He's fighting with all of his heart for Waxer. I wish he would still be here with him. That would have been awesome. I love setting the 212th up in urban environments. Reminds me of Utapau, of course. So there we have General Kenobi and Cody on the other side there as well, fighting in the actual city itself. And the road design, I think, looks pretty nice. kind of a lot of wavy textures, which I love doing. Here's Obi-Wan with some light up lightsaber as well, and I think that looks pretty cool. Here's the city center. I have a droid turret right there from Brick Tactical. I thought that was a cool addition. So that's kind of holding the main road right there, and the clones are having a hard time pushing up, trying to take it out. But Obi-Wan and Cody are trying to get up there and secure that position. Lots of hallway, close quarters, kind of urban combat blasters as a droideka blasting that poor clone trooper right there. Just stuff that I love to set up right there, kind of really making you feel like the minifigures are vibrant and have kind of each have their own action that they're taking place in the overall battle. Specifically like Utapau in Episode 3, where it's very close quarters, kind of in the urban streets. Here's the city center. We have the droids who are kind of holding it right here, and they're kind of being pushed on multiple fronts here by the clones. Here's a nice little view of looking into the middle of the city right here. Here's the new addition right here that I hadn't finished up quite yet. I've got a nice Clone Wars brick right there from Brick Tactical. I think it fits in really well with the build. Here's kind of those pillars or archways as you enter the city, and it gives a nice view into the city center. I'm glad I didn't do a building right here because I was thinking about doing a building right there, but it would have kind of covered up kind of this view where you can see into the city. Of course, over here I had to use the older style clones, which are pretty much my favorite style of clone troopers here, the Phase 2 ones. I think they're a lot more dynamic to set up with those older helmets and bodies, so I think they look pretty cool here, and they're blasting these droids who are kind of trying to hold the city center. And right here, here's that plaque again. I think it works really well from Brick Tactical. Shout out to them. I always see them every year at Brickworld, and it's really awesome. Over here, we have kind of the headquarters building, and we have some clones right here with the thermal detonator, one clone trooper trying to get ready to breach that hallway and that entrance. I think this is a cool part of the mock. This was what I was working on in the last couple episodes here, was this headquarters building, and I really wanted to have these multi-layer kind of hallways we could see inside of the build, and I imagine this is like the Umbaran headquarters. So once the clones take this building or capture it, that's kind of the end of the battle. Here's the rooftop for the newest building here. A lot of it's all cleaned up and finished from the last time you guys saw it. Again, lots of close quarters combat for the clones here, something I always love to do. And I also have them shooting from rooftop to rooftop as we kind of move into a lot of these rooftop sections here, where I really wanted to make the build feel kind of multi-layered, where we have the clones rappelling down with the airborne right here, rappelling onto the rooftops, trying to breach from the top of the building. We also have the clones at the bottom of the building. So I really just wanted to make all these different layers of action. And all the rooftops, you'll notice the clone troopers and droids are kind of fighting against each other on the rooftops. Over here in the corner, we have Sniper Droideka, and a shout out to my 2003 kind of an Easter egg here with the 2003 Sniper here on the right with that droid. And they're kind of battling from rooftop to rooftop here, as you can see. And we have some jet troopers as well, kind of jumping up here, trying to get the high ground, which Obi-Wan would be proud of them for. And then this poor trooper who's trying to climb up as well. Hopefully he can hang on there. But a lot of these rooftops are finished and tiled off, which is something that I hadn't done in the previous episode. So I was able to find some tiles at the convention and get them tiled off, which is really helpful because I was worried I wasn't going to be able to do that. So happy I was able to do that. Here's just another overlook of kind of the path right here using a bunch of different tiles. You guys kind of saw me and heard me talk about this throughout the series. Here is the new addition on the building where you can kind of look through and see some minifigures there set up, which was cool to have another layer of small little sections for people to look through here. This building was a struggle to get done. If you remember the last couple episodes, I was really trying to get these buildings done. But this right here is the main view. That's kind of my favorite. Looking through, and you can kind of see this alleyway and kind of the arches and the pillars and everything, how the buildings are kind of leaned in on each other, and you get kind of a really close quarters combat, which is really fun, especially in a city build like this. So here is the kind of apartment complex building with the commando droids in the apartment up top and the kind of control center down there. All of the buildings have lights in them, which is something I haven't really done before, where every single building is lit up, and that really kind of helped the mock stand out at a convention, especially at World of Lights, where every single building you can kind of look in and see these details, which is what I really wanted to do. That was one of my main goals when I set out to make the mock, was how do I make this thing really pop and vibrant with all the lights looking out. So when you walk by it, you can see all these cool details. Here's one last look at the Capitol for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the way it came out. It was definitely a challenge, but I had fun doing it. I loved being able to talk to people about Umbara. So many people came up and said how much they loved the episodes and was talking to me about their favorite part of the episodes, which I love taking a build to a convention and talking to people about that build and the actual inspiration for the build, which was the episodes itself. And so many people love Umbara and so much love for the Clone Wars, so that really made me happy, and I love talking about Clone Wars with people, so that was really awesome. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode, for the finale for Umbara. Stay tuned for the cinematic that should be coming out here pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for watching all of these episodes and leaving your feedback. Even if you were tuning in last year from the start of episode 1 and those live streams that I did for a little bit, or if you're just tuning in for the finale of these past couple episodes. It's been really fun, and being able to build something from Umbara, which is one of my favorite story arcs in all of Star Wars, and it's that arc in particular, just so many core memories around it, sitting in front of my TV watching those episodes, just witnessing incredible storytelling unfold, and why I love the clones so much. So it's been a real honor to be able to build this and translate it into Lego, and also to be able to bring it to Brickworld Chicago and see everybody there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always.